In this episode of the Pad Bank, we speak to UK-born, Atlanta-raised producer and active member of the Pad Bank, Russ.
I made it. I made it. I made it. I produced. I made it. I made it. I produced. I cooked up.
Hello and welcome to the Pad Bank with me, Tony Brown, and this is episode number 21. So we are now legal in certain states in America. We're fully legal. We can do everything that an adult can do. So we're good. You know what I mean? We can go and buy alcohol. But yeah, man, I trust you well. Welcome to the show. It's great to have you back. No long thing today because we've got quite a lengthy interview. I had a very, very good chat with, as I mentioned, just a very active member of the Pad Bank, my man Russ. But before we do that, as always, I just want to send a big shout out to the Pad Bank community, to those who engage on YouTube, to those in the Pad Bank community. If you listened to last week's episode, you'll know the saga, and you'll know it was a little bit, there was a hint of negativity that had to get addressed. But you know what? A huge positive came out of it, because off the back of that, I got to send a big salute to those Pad Bank members who reached out to me just to say, you know what, Tony, we appreciate what you do in the community. Do you get what I'm saying? I had people reach out and saying, just want to reassure you and just tell you that, the Pad Bank has really helped me on production journey. They love the community. They've made friends in the community. Just the humility of the members and just the whole culture and the nature of that community. People appreciate it. So, I just want to say to everyone who took the time to reach out, you know what, respect, man. I salute you for that. But yeah, man, this week has been it's been a week of nostalgia. It's been a week of basically I've just been collecting. Yeah, just get straight to it. I've decided that I'm going to start collecting all the albums that influenced my production journey as I've grown up. Now, the reason I started doing this and I made a decision to do this is because I've been subscribed to Spotify for a long time, and I will continue to be subscribed to Spotify until further notice. I haven't really got an issue with Spotify in that sense. From a listener's perspective, it's great to have access to infinite library of music. Now, there are certain things that aren't on there. I'm conscious of that, but the majority of things I want to go and revisit or check out. It's just very convenient to jump on there and just find what I want to find and listen to it. However, I was having a conversation with my wife and I was saying, when you look at like Spotify and Netflix and other subscription services like that, you're basically paying to rent access to someone else's catalogue or someone else's material. And it just made me think. I thought to myself, you know what? If Spotify ever shut down, or they pull the plug or they change their terms and conditions, I'm left with nothing. I've got no music. Do you get what I'm saying? And I was just like, wow, all the playlists I've built up on there, all the songs that I've gone through over the time I've been on there and added to my favorites list or to my liked songs list that I can just quickly conveniently jump on there and pull up and play. All that will be gone. And I just thought to myself, you know what? I'm not into this, pay to access kind of scenario. I like to own things. Do you get what I'm saying? Like, I'm not nothing against anyone who is in rented property. It's not a derogatory statement. You know what I mean? But for me, I'd rather pay on a monthly basis to buy the house than to rent the house. Now, obviously, people's circumstances are different. Everyone's circumstances are different. Some people just aren't able to do that. Not trying to put those people down at all. All I'm saying is, for me personally, if I'm going to pay on a monthly basis, I want to pay to own. So I just made a decision. I said, you know what? I'm going to buy all the albums that influenced me as I came up as a DJ, as a producer, etc. And I went all the way back to like, where did I start? Say about 1985, 86 was where I started. And I made a decision. I'm going to buy them on CD. I'm not going to buy them on vinyl. And the reason I made that decision is because, number one, vinyl is too expensive. Vinyl nowadays, you probably know yourself, it's really expensive. And the type of songs I want to buy, the type of albums I want to buy, you're paying over the odds for them. Now, one thing that I always have to kind of kick myself for is a lot of these albums, I had them on vinyl anyway. You know what I mean? When I was DJing, I had a lot of these albums, singles, white labels, exports, imports, etc. I had them all on vinyl. But when my life took a turn, you get what I'm saying? I had a whole change of direction in terms of my life. I gave those records to an up-and-coming DJ in my ends. So I says, you know what, bam, I'm going to bless you with this. Someone done that to me when I was coming up as a DJ. You know what I mean? A guy, he was a local DJ, and he dropped a ton of records on me and says, yo, that's you, hold that. Do you get what I'm saying? So it's almost like you got to pass on the baton and do unto others, as they say. So yeah, I says, you know what, I'm going to buy them on CD. And the reason I'm going to do that is because, number one, they're cheap. I mean, I'm paying anything between £3 and £6 for almost everything. So you can see over here, if you're watching on YouTube, you can see I've got my little classic corner, my little classic corner over there. The majority of things over there I paid probably about between £3 and £6 for. So what we got? We've got Eric B. and Rakim paid in full. We've got Slick Rick, The Great Adventures of Slick Rick. We've got P.E., Texas Nation of Millions. We've got N.W.A., Straight Outta Compton, The Chronic, Snoop, America's Most Wanted. We've got J. Rue's first album, Low End Theory, EPMD, Business as Usual. I've got all of Gangstar back catalogue. I've got all of Nas's back catalogue. I've got Outkast's first album and their second album. So those are just a few that I've got on display, and I've got another batch that I'm still waiting for. So yeah, man, I just thought, we're getting all the classics. The one I paid over the odds for, out of all of this collection, there's one that I paid over the odds for, and that was Diamond D's first album, Stunts, Blunts and Hip Hop. I paid close to what I would have paid for that when it came out, so probably about £12, so about $15. But I thought, you know what, because I got these so cheap, I'm willing to pay a little bit more for that because it's a classic, and that was very, very influential to me as I was coming up. So I just definitely wanted that in the collection. Now there's some other albums that I'm looking at and I'm thinking, boy, I don't know if I can pay that much. I don't know, man. So De La's first album, 3 Feet High and Rising, you're paying over the odds for that. Organized Confusion, their first album, jeez, you're certainly paying over the odds for that. I keep seeing that for like £38. I think the cheapest I've seen it for is like £29. And I'm just like, I don't know, man. I don't know. So with those type of ones, I'm going to wait until I've got kind of all the ones that I want. And then as time goes on, I'll just look and say, you know what? Yeah, man, I'm going to get it. And I'll just grab it on CD. So another reason why I'm willing to get them on CD is because I've got the virtual vinyl setup as well, or the digital vinyl setup. So as soon as the CDs land, all I'm doing, I'm ripping them to my laptop, and then I can actually play them on my turntable here. So and I'm happy with that. Do you get what I'm saying? It gives me the vinyl feel. I've actually got the original CD, so it's not like I'm playing. I'm just downloading it off the internet and just playing it. I've actually got the original, but I'm playing it here. So it kind of gives me that feeling of, yeah, man, I've got it on vinyl. Although I know I haven't. I'm not stupid. So yeah, man, that's been my week this week. So I should have my second batch come through sometime this week. So next week I can update you on the new additions to the collection. But yeah, man, the collection's looking good. I'm very, very happy with what I'm seeing at the moment. So, and I like the facts. It's kind of like a little gallery as well. I can look over there and I can see, these are the songs that encouraged and inspired me to make a significant contribution to hip hop. Even just looking over there and seeing Public Enemy, Texas Nation of Millions, like that was the album that for me made me know I want to make a contribution to hip hop. I want to contribute to hip hop. I don't just want to be a listener anymore. I want to do this. I want to bring something to the table. That was the album that done it for me. And I always knew I wasn't a rapper. So, I was very inspired by Terminator X and what he was doing and the role he played. And I was like, that's what I want to do. And then I went on to go into DJing. But yeah, man, I did say it wasn't going to be a long thing, but you know me, man. I'm a podcaster, so I talk. So yeah, man, that's how it goes. So listen, let's get straight into it. My man Rob Russ, like I said, UK born, which I didn't know. I didn't know he was born in the UK. Moved out to Atlanta as a young'un and was born and raised out there. And he's been a member of the Pad Bank for a while now. We talk about it in the episode. And yeah, man, good guy, all round good guy. We've kind of got a similar personality, you know what I mean? He's good sense of humor. We have a good laugh on the episode. So I think you're going to enjoy this one. So just sit back, relax, and enjoy the interview. Rob Russ.
I made it. Produced, I cooked up.
So it's my pleasure to welcome my brother Rob Russ to the Pad Bank.
Thank you.
Hi, my brother.
What's up? What's going on?
Yeah, I'm good, man. I'm good. It's good to have you here, man. And it's great to have you.
I really
number one as part of the Pad
appreciate
Bank.
you being calling me in. Thank you, man. Thank you.
Man, of course, man. Of course, you've been a valid, consistent contributor to the Pad Bank community.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know what I mean? I thought, you know what, it's time to hear your backstory. You know what I mean? I want to hear about
I appreciate that. Yeah.
About you and your production journey. So, but before we get into all that, obviously we're living in crazy times. So I always want to know
Right.
where you are and how are you doing, man? How are things?
I'm in Metro Atlanta. Little known secret, I'm actually from Greenwich, England.
Wow.
That little drop at the beginning is actually me at 4 years old, and my sister saying, "You want to talk about some records?" And so I thought I'd bring that in with all my drops for the rest of my life. I guess I don't know.
Okay.
But I've been in the Atlanta area. It's a little town called Loganville, but it's in the Atlanta area.
So yeah, man.
Okay.
That's good to hear. So you're in Atlanta. How long have you been?
Yeah. How long have I been here?
Yeah.
Since 1980s. Dating myself there. Yeah. We actually moved to the States when I was 4 years old. So, you know, I've been either we briefly lived in Boston and then we moved down to Georgia like a few years later, and I've been here ever since.
Yeah. Okay. So you moved from
COVID is
to
right.
Okay.
Because my parents, my parents moved there from Barbados, and then Yeah. My older sisters, they still have the accent. I don't. It wasn't cool to be British in the 80s, man. Not for a young little kid. It wasn't. So And now it's a shame because there was a point where I told a teacher, I put down on the paper that I was from England, and she actually crossed it out and said that I'm from Georgia. So she didn't believe me.
If you had the accent, then you could have backed it up.
Right. And now doing it, I sound just like an American trying to do a British accent. So it doesn't.
Yeah. Well, I'm not going to ask you to do your best UK accent or your best impression of me. So
thank you. Thank you. No, it's not going to work. No. Yeah.
So yeah, man. How are things where you are, man? What's the current situation? How you keeping?
It's not bad. I got a job where I work from home, so I don't really have to leave as much except for to get groceries and stuff like that. So it's not bad. Yeah.
It's amazing how you can create that bubble around yourself, and it's only when you go out to the supermarket or you pop out to grab something, you think, wow, things have just.
I know. Yesterday I was like, wow, people. I'm seeing people. This is nuts. Oh, look at that! I forgot what people look like outside of the television. This is great. So yeah. I feel bad. My parents are just like a few cities over, and I don't see them because they're doing the opposite of what you would expect them to do. My dad's seeing people are coming to the house, and I'm like, I don't know. And then my mom, she's working, doing her stuff too, seeing a lot of people. So from time to time, we're like, we'll wait till it calms down there. And I visit them a little bit, but I don't ever have the opportunity to, especially because of the job and whatnot.
Yeah. I'll tell you what, it's a blessing though, to be able to continue to work from home.
Yeah.
You know, I think one of the worst things that, for myself anyway, you know, having the added pressure of financial stress on top of what's already going on, that would be, you know, that would sort of exacerbate the struggle, man. Where to be able to just continue to work and you got your steady income, you know, it kind of relieves a little bit of pressure. So definitely give thanks for that, man.
So I got to thank you first and foremost. I never thought the day that I bought my MPC Studio Black that I'd be talking to you.
For real?
Because you're the reason why I'm in the pad bank.
No way.
I was just about to buy the MPC Studio Black because one of my friends already had the silver one.
Okay.
And he was like, "You should do it, man. I know you've been using keyboards to sample and play keys and whatnot.
Yeah.
But you should get it. You should get it. It makes things a lot easier." And I was like, "Fine." And then I looked online to see, and you're the first picture that comes up and say, you know, what's good about the MPC Studio Black, and you got the you're looking at the box.
I've still got the box right there.
Mine's in the closet. I guess I should have had it out too.
Yeah.
But it's your fault, man. It's your fault, and I appreciate it. I appreciate it so much.
I take full ownership, man. You know what I mean? But I'm still waiting for those residual checks from Akai, but they've been skinning up, man. They're not really you know, into the partnerships and supporting kind of the referral partners and things like that. So, you know, I do it for the love, I do it for the culture. So I'm glad you're part of the family, man. And like I said, man, you've definitely joined the group and made a great contribution, and I appreciate that. You know, so yeah, man. But yeah, man, like I said, it's good to hear that you're well. It's good to hear that you're healthy. I'm interested in your backstory. You know, I mean, obviously you joined the Pad Bank, just over a year ago now, I think it was?
Nah, it was like 2017, 2018, something like that.
Yeah. Okay.
I didn't start actively doing stuff until really last year.
Yeah, okay.
Because a few years ago, I did 2. Technically 3, because I was like, I turned it in too late, and I said, fine, I won't turn it in. And then I found out I still had time, and I was mad because I think I would have won that week. But
yeah.
Last year, I guess the pandemic really helped me have more time to do that stuff. Because you know, you go straight from your regular job and then go in the studio, and then you can do stuff right away.
Yeah. So I mean, before we even jump into that, were you working from home previously, or is it because of the pandemic that you're now working from home?
I was working from home half the week, and then they said, you know what, just go ahead and stay home. And I was like, what's the point? You can do this job anywhere that I'm doing. I'm into IT stuff.
Yeah. Did you have much of a commute? Was your commute?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, it took me sometimes an hour and a half to get to work sometimes. Yeah. So it's like 3 hours in traffic every day.
So you've redeemed that time now.
Yeah. That's the time. It allows me to, instead of waking up at 5, I can wake up at 8 o'clock and go, oh snap, I got a meeting in like 12 minutes. Let me go downstairs. So yeah.
That's me every day, brother. Trust me. I'm the same.
Yeah, man.
I'm like, whoa.
That happened to me like a Thursday. Yeah. I woke up and was like, oh snap, it's in like 10 minutes.
Yeah.
So
I've learned to keep a branded work hoodie close at hand. Wake up and I've still got my pajamas on, like zip up the hoodie, got my branded hoodie there, and I'm on my call ready to go. So
well, I have a lot of people on the call, so I'm not saying who, but a lot of people on my team that don't feel like they need to be on camera in the morning. So that gives me the excuse not to use the camera first thing. So I'm good.
I hear that. Right, so let's get into it then, man. So I'm interested to know, you know, you mentioned before you had the MPC, you were on the keyboard, sampling, making your tracks. Tell me about your journey into production. Where did it all start for you?
It started a long time ago. I mean, I've always loved music. My first instrument was trumpet. Played trumpet in a band, marching band. My father's a musician. Yeah. He was a singer. He actually had a band in England called Erasmus Coram.
Okay.
And that was one of the reasons we came to England from Barbados. He wanted to be a singer, so that's why we were there. Yeah. And I think I would say 1990. I was like, yo, I really want to do music stuff. and give me a second. Okay, so I wanted to do music stuff. So I actually asked a lot of my relatives, "Hey, I'm going to buy this drum machine. It's a DR660. I forgot who makes that.
Roland
DR660. Yeah.
Dr.
And that was like yeah. I enjoyed using that. I was to a point it was kind of like my sampler because I had a Korg DSS1 that triggered to do the sampling.
Yeah.
And then I had the Korg DSS1, and like you've said, I used one of my major programs that I've used to make a lot of the albums I did back then was Cubase.
Okay.
Cubase on a PC. Now, when you use it, was it on a PC or a Mac?
It would have been on the PC.
I don't remember how far back it goes.
Yeah, I never got into Mac till probably about like the 2000s, like probably about 2010. I got my first Mac, but before that, it was all PC.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
I'm sort of like that. My sister was doing desktop graphic design, so she had like one of the early Macs.
One of the big white.
But of course. Yeah. It was just that one piece. Yeah, that's all she was rolling off of that. So I learned a lot of Mac stuff from Office, from OS 7.5, like way back then.
Yeah.
And I didn't, even when I got this Mac Mini that I'm using, which I'm probably going to end up changing at some point, I have it loaded with what's it called? Boot Camp.
Okay.
And the Boot Camp, so when I first got it, I was like, I'm gonna load Windows because that way I can still use Cubase, I can still battery, so forth and so on. And that was before I got the MPC. And then I was like, let me try to do this MPC business, and it worked out. Nice. The major thing that changed for me was the amount of effort you have to put in to sample.
Okay.
Because you remember back in the days, you had to speed up a sample to catch that little snip.
Yeah. If you sample
and then
put it on 45,
right.
Put the picture right up, get it as fast as possible.
Right.
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
So that's one thing I really love about it. You sit there and you can just listen to what you want to sample, chop.
Yeah.
Drop it over the keys and keep going. One of the producers that inspired me for production was Pete Rock. Now, remember Pete Rock used to do the horns like an echo? Yeah. I used to have to program that in. So I would hit da, 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 and then go 100, 80 on the volume, 60 on the volume, 20 on the volume, 10 on the volume to get that same effect. And here I get this MPC and this da, 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 and I'm like,
the 16
I could have been doing this the whole time. Yeah.
Yeah, man. Yeah. But you know what though? Those little things kind of, they help you to sharpen your skills, man, because being that meticulous and having to make all those changes and program all those things in, whether you still use it or not, you probably transfer those skills to other things. You know what I mean? Even just the patience to be able to do it. You know what I mean? You probably got more patience with other things. So
it helps out. I'll tell you one thing. When I finally used it, I think my first beat was and my second beat, one of my friends was like, send that to me right now. I can't. I'm not even shocked that you pulled this together as fast as you did, because you've never used this stuff, but the same concepts apply. Yeah, that's why we producers never, nowadays we don't down each other for using other pieces of software and hardware, because there's a skill set to everything.
That's it. And it all comes down to the end product at the end of the day. It doesn't matter whether you're using a Mac, a PC, MPC, machine, Cubase, Reason, Fruity Loops. It comes down to the final product. Is it banging? Can it work? Can a man flow over it?
I mean, look at Ninth Wonder. In the beginning, that's all he was using. He was using Fruity Loops. I mean, now I think he's using Machine, and Ableton, but that dude has a great concept of grabbing the right sample and manipulating samples, regardless of what drums he may choose or the pattern that he chooses.
That's it, man. Yeah. So going back then, so you had your keyboard, you had your Dr. Rhythm, your Roland or a Boss. I think it was Boss. Or the Boss.
Yeah.
So you had that set up. At what point did it become serious? Was it like, yo, I'm into this. Like, I'm looking to do something with this.
It got okay. So I was in a rap group. I mean, I used to rap too and DJ. And
beatbox. Yeah. What year are we talking?
around that same time, 1990, when I got that equipment. And I was a rapper first and a musician, kind of secondish. But the second that I said I'm a producer, when I had some strangers come to my house and I made like 2 or 3 songs for them. And that was like in 1990.
Yeah.
They never went on to do anything.
Yeah.
But it gave me the confidence to lead folks that never seen them before in my life.
Yeah.
So since then, you know, I was one of the main producers in my group. There's another guy who's the DJ slash producer, and we banged everything out. We were both DJs at our high school. He was part of this crew that was majorly known at one time in the Metro Atlanta area. King Edward DJ. His name was DJ T-Bone. And he went on to do some things. And then we went to college, and then we just started bringing people in. It was in my little room in this house we were renting, and we were making songs left and right.
Yeah. And
that's when everything pretty much started. I actually started making some CDs for folks, you know, some albums. And it was mainly on the Christian side because I kept hearing people's music like this message sounds good, but music is whack.
Yeah.
So I was like, I can do better. I can do better. And let me start. And I, you know, a few albums later, I did great. And then the career kind of took over. So I took a big break and focused on, you know, information technology stuff, IT stuff.
Yeah. Yeah. Paying the bills, feeding the kids, paying the mortgage,
right.
that kind of stuff. Yeah.
Right.
Keeping it in its rightful place as a hobby kind of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A fun fact.
Go on.
I'm on a Netflix special.
Okay, a recent one.
About this long though. You seen Hip Hop Evolution?
Yeah.
There's an episode about the Dirty South. Okay. It's like 2 minutes in, you see a skinny dude with putting headphones on a white T-shirt, and it's me, DJing.
I'm gonna watch that tonight.
I was like, oh, it's like Monsters Inc. I'm in there for little. Rewind that. That's me. I can't believe that. So yeah.
I should claim to fame.
Yeah. And then I had some commercials that I did once, radio commercials for an audio company. Okay. And look, I got paid just to do this. Yeah. Right? I got like $3,000 for that in like a 2-month period just to doing that. Yeah, it was fun.
Yeah, man. It's amazing what you can how you can generate revenue in the music industry. In that world. You know what I mean?
Yeah, because I started out trying to do that commercial to do the music, but they couldn't make up their minds on what sound they wanted. They were like, make it sound like De La Soul. I was like, all right. So I did the Ooh Ooh song with Redman in it, and they wanted the Shaka Khan song, It Ain't All Good song.
Yeah.
And I didn't know that. So by the time that's how the commercial ended up sounding, it was cool. I got paid.
Yeah. Okay.
A little SAG card for a half second.
So the group, you was in this group then. So you started rapping, you was producing. Where did that take you? You know, where did you go from there? Did the group fizzle out, or
we all went to do different things? All right. So one dude in the group, he's a teacher now.
Yeah.
Another dude in the group,
still all in contact with each other.
Yeah. Most of us still live in Metro Atlanta. Okay. One of them is a major. Yeah. All right. So the one that's a teacher, he's still a producer, but he doesn't share his music. I have yet to hear anything. If he ever watches this, he might be mad. But yeah, it'd have been great. And another dude, he's doing big things. There's a song that came out. I don't know if you ever heard it. It's it's an international special. It's called Facts.
Okay.
And they had a remix with DJ Khaled and Busta Rhymes and somebody else. I was like, look it up if you get a chance.
I'll check that out.
He's part of the Lab Rats. He went out. He's still doing big things. He's doing music. He had a studio for a little bit and doing commercials and TV work and stuff like that. Another guy, he's like one of the hottest dudes in Metro Atlanta. He's like the MC for like all the major events. Fort Knox.
Okay.
And me, I'm just doing music here and there. You know, not as big as them. You know, nice though. Nice. You know, I'm nice. I'm nice.
Yeah, man. Yeah. So growing up in Atlanta, obviously now, in this day and age, Atlanta's kind of top tier when it comes to the music industry.
Yeah.
That's like
I suspected it, but I didn't anticipate that it would take over. I never did.
So when you were coming up, was Atlanta still kind of below radar, or what was the scene like? And you know what I mean, what was it like coming up at?
It was we were all considered whack.
Yeah,
mainly because of the subject matter. You know, you're looking for the boom bap, you're looking for the concepts, you're looking for, you know, you don't get people like that, in my opinion, to like Outkast and Goody Mob, and you know, back in the days, you had some, you know, Kilo and people like that. It was cool. I mean, I was like, lyrically they could do better, but you know, it's cool. It was something good to dance to, which I, you know, you gotta respect it. You gotta respect it. And the DJ game here, they took it to another level. I mean, you can't deny it. You got DJ Smurf, who became Mr. Collie Park, who made hits for the Yin Yang Twins, and he was on that same crew that the Edward DJ, I forget, whatever his name is. I said it wrong. I'll probably fix it. Yeah, DJ Edward J. That's his name. Okay. Yeah, I got it right now. Hey, while you playing, he's in that Hip Hop Evolution. Okay, he's one of the people talking in the Hip Hop Evolution.
Okay,
that's how my clip got slipped in there, because he's a major part of how our culture began to evolve. Okay, so if you look further in there, you'll see a dude talking to another guy, and it looks like he's in a church, because he's actually a minister now. Yeah, he was a minister at the time too. But anyway, that's a whole different story. So yeah, we were at a time we were coming up, people didn't respect it. Like, I had this one song where it's one dude from Metro Atlanta, another dude from New York, another dude from Texas, and it's all boom bap. I played a few seconds for them, and they were like, "Nah, I only listen to that boom bap out of New York. That's it.
No way.
I don't respect anywhere else."
Yeah.
Like, okay. Yeah. And now you can't hear that influence now. It's just so heavy. Yeah. In Atlanta, I'm honored that I'm here, but at the same time, I wish the lyrical content will look, you know, the metaphors of that. Although if you listen to you really hone in, sometimes you can catch that and you don't realize it. You're just caught up in that quick double time flow. Yeah. Sometimes it does come off mumble, and sometimes it's great. Best thing ever.
I think there are a few artists bubbling to the surface who are kind of focusing a little bit more on their lyrical content. I think because mumble rap's kind of got the bad rep it's got amongst, you know, in the industry. Yeah,
because if you slow it down, you're not really talking about much.
Yeah,
I mean, when we were growing up, to hear somebody doing what they're doing now, the intricacy of all the internal rhymes in the middle of all the phrases, that's admirable.
Yeah,
but you know, when you go back and analyze it, you're like, but you're not saying. I didn't walk away feeling like I learned anything about you, your struggle.
Yeah.
And you know, it took me a while to learn that a lot of this is show.
Yeah.
Because I used to think that people, who they portrayed was who they were. So I thought MC Hammer was like whack. Just whack. Yeah. Except for there's like 3 songs I can't front on, you know. Turn His Mother Out. I can't front on that one. It's one of my favorites. But I didn't know that dude was hard.
Yeah, man. Neither did I.
That dude put out a contract on people to get people snuffed just because talks about his moms.
Yeah, it's only through the internet and hearing podcasts, and you think, right, okay, Hammer wasn't playing.
Yeah. Yeah, and I used to think who you were representing was an indication of who your character is in real life. Yeah. Nah.
Yeah.
Even if they whack, their real life is like nothing to joke with. Like some of these folks.
Yeah, it's true. Do you remember Digital Underground, Shock G, and
yeah.
Like, I heard them guys like were serious on the streets. You know what I mean? Shock G.
Oh, really?
Yeah, man. I heard them guys were serious, man.
Yeah, I can kind of believe with Shock G. Yeah, I can. Why you friend? I can't. Nah, why you playing?
Imagine, you know, he's got his character Humpty
Hump.
Hump.
Putting it in perspective.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, he finally, you know, the Mr. Piano Man was him too.
For real?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I looked it up. I was like, because he was like, yeah, he can't show his face because he's signed to another label, and a part of his contract was that he can't show his face when he's playing. And I was like,
yeah.
My favorite is still when him and Humpty Hump went on MTV Raps and gave each other dap. It was like two light-skinned brothers pretending to be in the shot. It was just one brother pretending to be two people. I really thought it was funny.
Get like 3 or 4 checks for the same.
Yeah, man.
You know what I mean? He's got his Humpty check, his Shock G check, and his Piano Man check. And he produced a track as well, so he's smart.
Yeah, I think he made like all their stuff, right?
Yeah, that's it.
So
during that period, then, when you were producing, when you had your group, and when you kind of started to get more serious, you mentioned Pete Rock. Who else were some of your production influences?
Pete Rock, Diamond D, Eric Sermon.
Okay.
They were the ground level, because that was like I can make music like this. I'm sorry, Q-Tip.
Okay, yeah.
Q-Tip.
Yeah.
And then the big dog, Dilla.
Okay.
And I'm gonna tell you what's funny about me following Dilla. Now, the funny thing about this dude is I heard him in one song. I was like, that sounds right down my lane.
Yeah.
I heard him in another song. I was like, whoever made this track, Far Side, this is hot.
Yeah.
Then I heard Players for Slum Village. Like, this is hot. Then I heard Common. And I'm like, all these styles of music kind of go with my whole mindset. And it turns out it's the same dude.
Right. Yeah.
I didn't find out till like maybe a couple years after he passed that he made, a couple years before he passed, that he did all that. I mean, I knew he was in Slum Village. Yeah. I knew he did the Common. I didn't know he did the Far Side. Can't keep running away. I didn't know he did that.
And Drop.
Because I was like, the way, I didn't know. And Drop, I didn't know that he made a lot of that stuff. I didn't know he made a lot of the, he was so versatile.
Yeah, yeah.
And then toward the end, the way he started manipulating his samples.
Yeah.
I was real inspired by that, because a lot of that, come on, there's some beats where it's just the sample. There's no drums, there's no hi-hat, there's nothing. It's just sample manipulation, and that's that.
Yeah, chopped it up. I'll tell you what I done recently. I went back and checked out some of Busta's early albums. And
DJ Scratch.
Okay, yeah.
That's the man right there, because he made a majority of his stuff.
Yeah. But so did Dilla. Like a lot of the stuff on the Coming, and most of his albums, Dilla done a lot of work with Busta.
That's true.
You know what I mean? When you go back and listen, it's like, he was consistent. Even then, like you can hear the Dilla sound when you go back and listen to it. That kind of rusty, that dusty sound, you can hear it, man. And Busta.
Yeah, and I know there are people out there like, you dumb, you should know. But come on, man. During our time, you call yourself, what do you call himself first? JD,
yeah.
And then you change your name to J Dilla.
Yeah.
And if you're not a true fan, you're not gonna be able to.
That's right. Or unless you got access and you're actually reading the credits.
Right.
See the open it up, read the credits. You know what I mean?
Man.
We never had.
When I did, I was always like, I love track 50. I don't remember what track 50 was.
Yeah.
I don't know who made it, because I'm playing in the car and I don't have time to.
Yeah.
Because that was the majority when I listen to my music, is it's in the car.
Yeah, man. Diamond D as well, definitely. I wouldn't say he's underrated, but I don't think he gets the accolades that he deserves, man. He was definitely a pioneer when it comes to that whole boom bap sound. I still love
the fact that him and Pete Rock, the fact that they're so similar. I mean, we have a similar musical background as far as being a rapper, being a producer, being a DJ.
Yeah. And
that's what I respect in those dudes. And of course, I can't forget Pharrell and the big dog Timbaland.
Yeah.
And I can only wish to be like Timbaland, changing the entire game forever.
Yeah.
Like now here's my question to you. Okay, England's always been on a different level as far as the style of music. I mean, your grime and your garage and stuff like that. So when he came out with, I think it was called Jungle, I can't remember the genre's called because I don't pay attention to genres as much. Did you all say, "Come on, son, that's us"? That's us all day. Did you say that, or you were like, this is new as well?
I think to hear it in a hip hop R&B genre, it was like, okay, I see what you're doing here. But that kind of,
it was
those skippy drums.
Something was already out.
Yeah, man. We were doing that, like you said already, with garage. Sorry, with jungle drum and bass. People were already doing that with breaks. That but the tempo was a lot faster. You know what I mean? Drum and bass and jungle was like 160.
Right.
So he was doing this the drums, but he'd slowed it right down. You know what I mean? I think I
still got cousins that make that kind of music as well.
Yeah.
I forgot where they live.
I think one thing he done was, by slowing it down, he allowed hip hop MCs to ride on it. Where with the jungle and drum and bass, hip hop MCs struggled to ride it because the tempo was that quick. Them guys like, so you had to be able to flow really quick. Where he kind of slowed it, he still had the skippy style, but he slowed it down so you could do like a double time or a slowed flow on it. So yeah, man, yeah. But I remember the first time hearing Aaliyah's album that Timbaland produced, and I just remember being in the back of my friend's car. It was a Friday evening. We was driving around the city, just chilling, smoking, whatever. And I just remember sitting in the back of the car and thinking, this is different. Like, this is a game changer. You know, when you hear something, it's like, this is going to change the game. You know what I mean? And then Jodeci's album, Diary of a Mad Band, when that came, there's a few tracks on there that was only later on I found out.
Oh yeah, right.
And then
you listen and you can hear his voice all through the song.
All through it, man.
Him and Missy.
Yeah, man. You can hear them. So
is that you, Jodeci? I was like, wow, that's Missy. I can't believe that. This whole time. It was Missy and Timbaland.
So yeah, man, he definitely was very, very influential to myself as a producer as well. So I mean, we've kind of got the same influences. You mentioned, or everyone you mentioned, same influences for myself, and Timbaland and Pharrell definitely were like some of the big dogs in there. But yeah.
And now let me ask you a question. Are you an MC as well, or are you producer and DJ? Because I heard you scratch.
Yeah, man.
I saw a clip the clip behind when you was doing this, and I was like, wait, is this dude actually scratching right now? Oh snap!
Yeah, man. I got. To be honest, this is new. This is new. So I started as a DJ. But I haven't put my hand to a turntable and a piece of vinyl for like 15 years. So I got this set up just before Christmas. So I'm just getting back into it, man. You know what I mean? But
I'm adjusting with a DJ console. I don't have a turntable I can trust anymore. It's an adjustment.
Yeah, I couldn't do
a mental thing.
I couldn't do it. So what I done, I got the digital vinyl setup, so I can play tracks off my laptop, but it's just got the vinyl time coded, the time coded vinyl. So I just wanted that hands-on feel. But to answer your question,
that spin under your fingers,
man, there's nothing like that. I write a little bit, but I've never really classed myself as a rapper. Like I've rapped, I've got music out that I've rapped on. You know what I mean? But
really?
I've never really classed myself as an MC, and I think that's because I've been around MCs who've been really good, and I'm like, I know what I'm good at. Do you get what I'm saying? When they hear my beats, they're like, yo, give me that. When I hear their bars, I'm like, yo, spit on this. So for me, I knew my place. You know what I mean? I can write, I can put a hook together. You know what I mean? I could write for someone else, but being an MC,
that full production experience. Yeah. Sometimes people don't respect it. I mean, I was at a studio once and it was a double time song, and one of the people in the song was like struggling to get through it. And I said, what you could do is you could remove a few words from it. You don't have to say the and the and the what you're intending will come out. No respect. They actually asked me to leave the studio because I wasn't the main producer in charge. It was weird because the artist asked all the production people to come in and wait their turn so that they can do their song or songs with that person. So meanwhile, producer like me who just has an ear for not only beats but for what works for the song. That's I couldn't turn it off. And it was a little maddening to hear the dude be like, there's no disrespect, man.
Mm.
But I'm gonna need you to leave. You can come back when it's your turn. Like,
Yeah.
all right.
Yeah, I had a similar experience recently. You know, I mean, working with an artist who was a bit younger than me, and he didn't really know my backstory. Do you get what I'm saying? To him, I'm like, I'm new in the game. I'm new in his game, but I'm not new in the game. Do you get what I'm saying?
Right.
So he was in the studio, he's doing what he's doing, and he was struggling to kind of find the pockets for his bar. And I heard it straight away. Same thing like you're saying. You know, all you need to do is probably start that line a little bit, a beat earlier, maybe pause and then drop those 2 lines. And I just heard it straight away. I just heard how it could land in the pocket. So I said to him, I said, yo, I said, try it like this. And I kind of, you know what I mean, kind of showed him where he should do it. And he looked at me like he was offended. Like, how dare you? Who are you? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I ain't new to this. You know what I mean? I've probably been in more sessions 20 years ago than you've had in your whole life. You know what I mean? I've probably got more studio hours under my belt than you'll get in the next 10 years. Just because I'm new to you doesn't mean I'm new to this. You know what I mean?
Right.
So either you take it or you don't, but I can see the pocket where you need to land, man. So, but I think that's a big issue.
Did he end up listening, or did he just
I think
shrug you off and you just shrugged it off as well?
He had no choice because, you know, whether he acknowledged it was the same pocket I was showing him to ride, he ended up riding that pocket. Now, whether he would acknowledge it and give me the accolades for showing him that, but it's ego, isn't it? There's an issue with ego in the industry, man. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, we can't help it.
Yeah.
And then you have real humble people, and it seems like the humble people are the ones that don't really get the break that they deserve, because
I
feel like everybody should have a fair shake. You know, I guess, I don't know. Parents raised me that way. Yeah. You think I know better, seeing that my father was artist himself for a minute. He's still coming out with stuff now. He's got his Alan B. Russell. Look that up. He's good.
Okay.
Maybe some of the videos are funny because it's all in a one place. You know the videos where it's like 5 of the same dudes and they're dancing the same time. Yeah.
Okay. Nice.
Yeah.
So you mentioned your influences. You mentioned a couple, in my eyes, a couple super producers.
Yeah.
Who would
but
you?
It doesn't help when you're our age, right? I mean, I don't know how old you are, but yeah.
Yeah.
50 is around the door for me in like 4 years or so. So yeah.
Same, man. I'm touching 45 this year, man. But
you know. Oh yeah. So yeah. So we about the same age. 46 and yeah. So you understand. So it's a lot harder to say who your influences are when you've listened to so much.
Yeah, that's it.
And you don't want to leave anybody out. That's the thing.
Yeah.
And I'd feel bad if I didn't say, you know, one of the greatest MCs is Rakim. One of the greatest MCs is KRS-One.
Yeah.
And, you know, and then turn around and say Kendrick, one of the greatest MCs right now. Like probably he's ranking up there for like forever as well. Busta.
Yeah.
Love that dude's energy.
With a lot of those lists, it's a case of, again, for people our age, it's like, okay, which decade we're talking about? So if you said like, you know, producers, like which decade we're talking about? Because you want to talk about Marley Marl, you want to talk about, you know, Mantronics. Who do you want to talk about? You know what I mean? Do you want to talk about?
Forget about Mantronics.
You know what I mean? Pete Rock, those people we mentioned earlier.
Dizzy Rascal.
I don't know about that.
Lethal Bizzle.
Yeah, those people. Goldie.
I like some grime. Grime.
JME. You know what I mean? Those guys.
Oh yeah, JME. Yeah, I love that guy. Yeah.
There's a guy who he lives not too far from me. A guy named Swifter Beta. And he's produced for all the top guys in the UK. Like he's one of the go-to guys for grime. Again, JME, Gets, Gigs, anyone who's anyone, he has produced for them and produced hits for Kano. You know what I mean? Big hits. And when I say this guy is one of the humblest guys you will ever meet, humble. You know what I mean? But when you look at his discography and you know what I mean, his track record, he's made some in the UK. He's like one of the go-to guys for sort of grime, UK rap, that sound. You know what I mean? But again, he's humble, man, humble guy. But what I was going to ask you was, as obviously you mentioned a few names. What do you think that the criteria is for someone to be classed as a super producer? You know, I mean, like I said, you mentioned Timbaland, Pharrell, those guys, I would say, are in that category. In your perspective, what do you think gives you the, you know, the sort of bragging rights to say, yeah, man, that guy, he
forgot
meets
Dr.
that
Dre.
criteria. Dr. Dre.
Yeah, it's about versatility. Your ability to make really good music in many subgenres. You don't even have to cross genres, you know, going into rock and R&B and stuff like that. It's just the ability to be able to be versatile and not be, in my opinion, to be locked into a particular sound, and the ability to evolve over time. The ability to say, who made that? Like, Dilla was an evolution. He was just walking evolution himself. I mean, he changed from, he created a genre. Also, I can't remember what his genre. Oh, the lo-fi. What am I talking about? He invented that.
That's true. That's true.
Yeah.
Yeah. Whether he realized he did or not, and whether he even lived to see what it became, because lo-fi now, you know what I mean, it's almost like it's been gentrified. Do you know what I mean? It's a huge, very popular genre for a very trendy kind of you know, non-urban group of people. Do you know what I mean? When, if you follow it all the way back, that's Dilla all over. You know what I mean?
And a lot of them do give the respect, but the sad part is, the further we are away from his original legacy, the more people won't know who. You know, it's like Big Daddy Kane said, it's quite confusing for you to remember the originator. And boy, do I hate a perpetrator. I just felt like singing that song. He was spitting facts at the time. Because the more that we put out what we want, what we think people want to hear, the more we become a factory. And speaking as an artist, it gets old after a while. But it's called music industry. It's industry. It's money, and that's really all that matters to the industry itself.
It's true. But like you said, you know, there's the artist side of it as well, and I think it's unfortunate that in the industry, sometimes the art gets overshadowed. You know, I mean, you got some people, even members of our group, you know, who they don't care about the industry. They just they do it for the love of it. They do it for the art of it. They just want to express themselves musically. You know, I mean, they'll hear something, they'll flip something, they'll play something, and they've got no sort of ambitions to say, you know, I want to be commercially successful as a producer. But when you hear some of their music, it's like, yo, this guy's clearly serious about his art.
Yeah, and relevance is key.
Yeah,
being able to have your same sound or a variation of it, but still sound as contemporary as possible. Is key. I struggle with it every day. Like every challenge your well, shall I say, our community brings our way. It's a struggle for me not to go or do jazzy. It's a challenge. I have to turn that brain off and say, what can I do that's kind of different, but still acceptable to the ear?
Yeah, I hear that, man. Yeah, and I think some of those names you've mentioned as well, in terms of the super producers and the influences, again, Dilla, Pete Rock, all those guys, even when they went left slightly or done a different, you know, worked with someone from a totally different genre, they had their signature sound was still there. You know what I mean? Pete Rock, you can hear a Pete Rock track a mile away. You get like, yep, that's Pete Rock all day. Like
I mean, and you can tell that he's evolved. His samples are a lot more obscure now than they were before. But they're a lot more crisp. I guess because technology has changed too.
Yeah,
you know, not having to speed your sample up to 45 beats. Revolutions per minute. And you get that real low staticky sample sound just to get it in there. But it became a part of it had its own personality to have that in the background. To hear that real low sax sound and flavor in your ear. I forgot what's Buck Wild. Buck Wild's nice, and I forgot who made flavor in your ear. It just fell out of my head that quick. Easy Mo B. I used to love some Easy Mo B.
Yeah.
Even when he did that joint for Alicia Keys.
Yeah. Which one?
Yeah. I think it's If I Were Your Woman.
Okay.
And he integrated the Warning song with Biggie.
Yeah.
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 Oh, I can talk some music. I can do that. I'm the dude that you're in the car with, and you probably might appreciate it. I don't know. Not many people do. And I'll be like, there's something wrong with this arrangement. The hi-hat is too loud. And just like I've heard you say, for me, your choice of snare, I'm not a big fan, but I like what you're trying to do. Or what you could have done is use this. And even the sample that we're working on right now, there's a horn part where when you get a chance, try to listen to it. It's like kind of in the middle of the song where the trumpet player starts to play.
Yeah.
You can hear the reverb from a previous take.
No way.
And then he plays what was there. So there's an empty spot.
Yeah.
Where you hear, and then you hear him go, da, 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 da. Yeah. And I was like, maybe it was a reverse reverb. But then I listened to the rest of the song. All the other reverb comes after the actual sound.
Yeah. And
I was like, yeah, this is a tape saturation deal where they had a previous take and they took it out and they didn't hear it.
Yeah.
Or like in Wu-Tang. There's a Wu-Tang song where they took the curse word out, but if you hear in the echo, you can still hear the curse word in the echo.
Yeah. You just reminded me of something. I remember being younger, and obviously in our day, we had cassettes. And I always remember sitting there and being amazed at that kind of like the ghost sound. So it's almost like you can hear what's coming before it comes. And again, I think it was of either it was, I used to think, is it the other side of the tape I can hear? Is it what's on the flip side that I can hear? Or is it the previous takes that, that they've recorded it? Like you said, they've done take 1, take 2, take 3, and there's like a ghost sound in the cassette. I remember, listening to my Walkman and having my headphones on and thinking, why can I hear something else? It's like I can hear what's about to come, or I can hear what just recently went, or there's a sound there, man. I miss that. I do miss that, man.
Yeah. I do miss that too.
That's character, warmth.
Yeah, there are two really great artists that I remember to this day, where you can tell what the engineer was thinking at the time, and possibly the producer.
Yeah.
Aaliyah had a song where she was ad-libbing, and they stopped it mid ad-lib, and then there was no more singing for the rest of the song.
Wow.
So it was like they probably thought it was too much and said nobody will catch it. It'll be fine. And they did the same thing to Tamia. Singing. It was like, ah!
Yeah. Just cuts it.
And I hit the rewind button, played it again, and was like, yeah, they decided to take her vocals out. I guess they felt it was enough. So
and you just pull those levels down. I see finished.
Yeah.
It's faded out. Yeah.
But for all we know, it could have got deleted by accident. Who knows?
It's true. Yeah.
I've had freak accidents like that myself.
Yeah. There's that infamous 2-pack track where it was Tupac, someone else is on there, Method Man's on there, and Inspector Deck was meant to be on there, but it took his vocals off. But when you listen to the track, his on the last verse,
ad-libs.
Yeah, the ad-libs are still there.
Oh, wow. No, I never noticed that.
Yeah, so there was a track I think Tupac just come out of jail. And apparently he was eating as he come out, he was on everything. And there was a track that had been done. Yeah. It was Daz, Method Man, and Tupac. And Inspector Deck was on the original, but it just took his vocals off for whatever reason. But you can still hear the lefty's ad-libs on there. So it's fading.
I wonder if he got any. Nah, the industry wasn't as technical back then. Because now they would have been like, oh, he said, ha ha ha, he's gonna get paid.
That's it. 0.04 of a pence or something like that. All right, listen, let's focus. I want to know your.
Yeah, sorry.
No, it's all good. It's all good, man. Let's just get back on track. I'm interested.
Trying to warn you.
Your process. You mentioned, getting the samples, the pad bank, and whatever else, the flip it challenges. Tell me a little bit about your process when you're attacking a track, or you got that window of time where it's like, yeah, man, I'm about to get creative. I'm going in the studio now. What's your kind of your standard approach to?
It's kind of like the song. In some cases, the song builds itself. I'm one of those make the music first and then add the drums afterwards kind of person.
Okay.
It's been a couple times where I do the drums first, but then I feel like the marriage doesn't always work.
Yeah.
There are times that we be like, wow, that was great.
Yeah.
So like it especially with sampling,
Mm.
I'd say, okay, what do we have for today? Let's see. This sounds cool. This sounds cool. This might work. This might work. So you go in and you chop, 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 play, 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 play. And then you go, let me see what works. And then I develop a pattern. And then afterwards, I start building the drums, and I build, if I feel the song might need it, I build some keys around it. Yeah. Or I might add an instrument behind it. You know, there's a few times where I've done some cheating, because you might see the guitars behind me, but I'm not a real good. I'm not that real good. There's this one song I did called City of Pain by Mark J. Track 1, doo. Track 2, doo. Track 3, doo. And then the bass line, doom, 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 sample, doom, 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 doom.
Yeah.
And just do whatever works. I mean, and there's songs where I've beatboxes. I used to be a beatbox back in the day too. Okay. That was the most irritating thing. Back when beatboxing was heavy, they never let you rap. Never let you rap. But like, nah, man, you go ahead. This person's gonna go, and you're gonna go, and you're gonna go, and then they will let you go after it. And usually, the person that beatboxes for me is like not as good at beatboxing. And then one time when we tried to do it, they was like, "All right, break it up." I was like, I wrote around for this and everything. So, downside of being the beatbox.
Yeah.
Kids, if you want to be an artist, pick one.
Yeah.
And then, Focus not necessarily. You can do whatever you want.
Yeah. All right. So
some people can do it all. Like Kanye, he seems to do it all.
Yeah. So you predominantly.
I'm sorry, Kanye. I missed the old Kanye. I mean, he's an influence.
We all do, man. We all do, man. Yeah, definitely. We all do. Yeah. So you predominantly music first, then drums. And then where'd you go from there? So you put your arrangement together. What's?
Yeah, I put the arrangement together, and depending upon who's writing the song, whether it's me or some artist, then I build around them from that point on.
Yeah.
If I feel it needs some background vocals, then I'll say add background vocals. If I feel like it needs ad libs, I'll say you need to go back and do some ad libs. And I'm kind of more organic, the old school way where you record it once, you get it right once, which just call me 50 take, Rob, just because I never, even when we used to record before 1990, because I forgot to tell you, we had I did say we had a group, and our way of recording back then was mix a cassette.
Yeah.
So you play the first cassette into a mixer, into two mics, and over to another cassette, and you bounce and you bounce and you bounce.
Mm-hmm.
And when it came time for me to do the song, we'd have to start all the way over.
Yeah.
A lot.
Yeah.
So as far as the process is concerned, it's whatever the song tells me it needs to do. If the song says you should use this hi-hat, or you should do this style or something like that, then I kind of follow what the song tells me to do.
Yeah.
Same thing for the writing style. If the singing, you have to do it a particular way, and I say, I don't know if that fits, you probably should change your pattern to kind of fit more in the pocket. I'm not a dictator, but I play one on TV.
Yeah.
So it's whatever the song says is what I'm going to dictate to the person. So if I say that you don't sound so great, I will stop it in the middle of them recording. They say, man, it's tough because some people be like, either you like Robert's style or you don't. But it is what it is.
Yeah,
you got to do what the song tells you to do.
Yeah. And I think
it's his own baby,
where you trust your ears, you trust your gut, you trust your instincts. It's like, nah, this ain't the one. You know what I mean? We need to go in a different direction, and you've kind of got to honor and honor your guts. If it's telling me this, I need to share it with you, man, because the last thing you want is to walk away from that session. You're in your car, you're listening back as you're riding home, and you get a phone call from the artist and they're saying, you know what, I don't really like that. The second verse, you know what I mean, the last few bars, and you're sitting there thinking, I knew, I was going to say that.
I could have told him.
Yeah.
That's the same thing.
Yeah. All right. So what kind of tools we're working with then? Hardware and software?
This is mainly my I'm incorporating some of my old stuff with my new stuff.
Yeah.
You know, from a generation where, you know, if it's not broken, then why replace it? If it ain't
Mm.
broke, don't fix it. So right now I'm using a Yamaha Motif 6, you know,
Yeah.
the very first generation. That's
Mhm.
and then I got the MPC Studio Black.
Yeah.
And that's a majority what I'm doing.
Okay.
As far as the programs are concerned, I'm trying to learn some other stuff, but I've now that the MPC Studio is doing a lot more than it used to, I'm even doing vocals there now too.
Oh, yeah.
I used to, you know, so I still have Cubase from time to time, but I don't use it as much. And I'm trying to be a big boy and learn Logic. Even my father knows Logic now, which is crazy because he's 77 and here I am. And I'm also trying to learn Pro Tools as well. But my feelings got hurt when I saw that Pro Tools didn't have plugins. But now that I know that the MPC does the plugins that you know, like the Complete 7. I recently purchased that, so I've been using that. And it's so crazy how software is because do I still have it on the shelf? Yeah, you see, I got the Grand, the box for the Grand, and it's a piano. It's a piano sound. I paid like $400 for that plugin just for a piano sound.
Yeah.
And now it's integrated. And then, well, not even now.
Yeah.
When this came out, when I saw Stevie Wonder playing it, because that's kind of what inspired me to get it, and found out that it can sample too, I was like, nice. This sounds better than that.
Yeah. Wow.
And then you go and you use Complete. This sometimes sounds better than that. I mean, sometimes there's some nuances. I'm still trying to figure that out, how to make it sound more like that.
Yeah.
And nice and full and still have kind of, I don't know, maybe it's in the mix down. I don't know. I'm still getting there.
Yeah. Yeah. So on that note, you mentioned mixing down. Do you do a lot of your mixing in the MPC? Or do you do you do everything, all your mixing, mastering, and everything?
Right now, MPC, yeah.
Okay, yeah.
I'm trying to be a big boy again, but you know, time is sometimes my time doesn't work with me. I have so many ideas that just haven't become full songs in some cases.
Yeah.
Like you get to the point you be like, this kid's growing up to like 3 years old now. I'll put him on the shelf. He'll mature on his own. I'll come back and it might be nice when I come back. I'll start another kid, you know, birth another kid from scratch and see how that goes.
We've all got those. I'm looking over here now. I can see a whole list of beats that I just know probably never gonna, you know, really sort of show their head. But even though I've made a commitment this year, I'm planning to do a project every month this year. So I've already done my January one. I'm working towards my February one now.
So how do you work some of that out as far as the fear of using samples? How do you, because that's, you know, in our time growing up, you were like, this is extremely hot, but I have this gut feeling that something's going to be taken from me.
Yeah.
You know, if it comes big.
Yeah. So initially, that was the biggest barrier to me releasing music was sample clearance.
Yeah.
And then I put out a project in early 2020, and all the samples on it were from Splice. So I've got a subscription with Splice, and obviously all those samples are royalty free. But it was more of a kind of a it wasn't like that boom bap sound. It was more sort of a current sound, like a trap, that kind of sound, you know. But more recently, you know, the last two projects I put out.
That mixtape was. I think I heard you say that it came from a movie.
That's right. Yeah. Yes.
Yeah. So where's the? Is there any fear in that, or is it
no
fear with numbers? Like if you start doing great numbers and then the fear comes up.
Yeah. You know what? I made a decision that if I attract enough attention for someone to come looking for me, then so be it. You know, obviously I release through my company, my limited company. So even if I was to get sued, they can only take what's in the company. They can't come from my personal assets. Do you get what I'm saying? So it would just be a case of, even if they hit me with a big lawsuit and, you know, there was some big dollar signs behind it, I'll just wind up the company. You know what I mean? It's a limited company for a reason. But that's not kind of my mentality in that sense. For me, it's a case of, if you go on Bandcamp, Yeah, Bandcamp is a platform for artists like us, independent artists. A lot of the stuff, I would say 80%, if not more, of the material on Bandcamp is sample based. And I know for a fact these guys ain't clearing their samples. You know what I mean? Bandcamp don't ask no questions. It's only if you want to go on Spotify, Apple Music, and those platforms that you need to provide them with the license for the sample clearance. With Bandcamp, no questions asked. Just upload your music, and that's that. You know what I mean? So
Yeah,
when I saw that, I was like, you know what? Like I said, if I make enough noise and get enough attention that someone's going to come look for me, we can have that conversation. If they want to sue me, then so be it. You know, I mean, I'll just wind up the company and we'll start a new one and move forward. So yeah, man, I'll let it go. But like I said, over the years, that was the biggest barrier for releasing music, man.
I had one of my songs destroyed in the master. It had a deep, if you have the right speakers to hear it, subwoofer, 808 behind some boom bap, and it was a sample off of a Motown Christmas sample, and it sounded great. But I was like, let me hide it as much as possible. So I brought it down in the mix.
Yeah.
The mastering dude brought the sample out, which then killed the 808. And then you couldn't hear it ever again.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, the storyline was good enough. So I was happy about that.
So yeah, man, like I said, for me, I just made a decision that I'm not going to be restricted by that. I look at it as art, you know, it is what it is. I'm not trying to abuse anyone's copyrights. I'm not trying to, you know, capitalize off it.
But the horror stories are so big.
I know, man. I know.
I just heard Peter Guns talking about Deja Vu, Uptown Baby. He said Steely Dan took 100% of the publishing for that song.
Yeah.
And they took they had nothing to do with writing the rhymes, and they didn't even give them writers credit.
Yeah. Well, look at Just Blaze and Fabulous, Breathe.
I heard about that. I don't know if it was actually true or not.
Bro,
he got nothing out of that too.
100% of the publishing goes to the group. Is it? I can't remember what group it was.
The Doors or something like that. I can't remember.
Yeah, and they had to pay 120 grand up front for the sample.
I did not know that.
120 grand plus 100% of the publishing. It's crazy. It's crazy. And then you got Puff Daddy and Sting, the Police. You know, I'll Be Missing You. Have you heard the story about that? Bro, my man pays Sting. Correct me if I'm wrong. I can't remember the exact number, but he pays Sting. I'm sure it's like 400 grand a year.
What?
Grand a year. Yeah. Every year for the rest of his life. Yeah, man. Yeah. So he gets all the publishing and he gets 400 grand every year for the rest of his life because he used the sample, he used a hook. You know what I mean? And obviously the
words
breach of copyright.
He used the melody line. He used the chorus. He used the sample.
Yeah.
See,
without his consent. And Sting was saying, you know, if he would have come and talked to me, I probably would have cleared it, but he didn't. So yeah, man, he hit him hard.
No disrespect to Ed Lover, but come on, son.
Yeah, come on.
You would have said the same thing. Come on, son.
Right.
Get out of here with that.
That's it, man.
If you were trying to teach a lesson, there's a way to teach a lesson to somebody to say, I probably would have cleared it. And that's not how you do it. You don't make me pay for the rest of my life. No.
That's it.
No, that song stands the test of time all by itself.
That's it, man.
The Sting song, I'll Be Missing You. Yeah. So I don't know. No disrespect. Shout out to everybody involved. You know, it's not right.
Yeah, man.
Imagine you making the production and you going, this is nice. You writing your rhyme, you go, this is nice. You bring in somebody to sing the chorus, they say this is nice. You spend hours mixing it. Who knows? You might have spent the same amount of time it took to make the original song, as far as hours. I don't know about effort, but hours.
Yeah.
For the mix down. The mix downs, for all we know, the mix downs, I would have to play the two back to back, but the mix down might even be even more crisp because of technology. Who knows?
Yeah. I just heard unfair. I just heard
until it happens to us.
What's his name? Pharomonch and Simon Says. So obviously he got sued because it was the Godzilla sample. Initially, Ruckus could have paid. I think it was like, I'm sure it was like $14,000. That was the initial kind of fee to clear the sample, run with it, good to go. It was like 14 grand, and they refused to pay. They just didn't pay it. They just ignored it and carried on. Next thing you know, he says he went to his mailbox, and they sent it to him, his real name, Troy Peterson or whatever his real name is. Open letter, and it was a legal letter. Basically, they'd suing him for like $400,000. You know what I mean, and all the royalties and whatever. And he was saying, yo, the record label has got a sample clearance department. You could have dealt with this. We could have paid 14 grand. It would have been, everything's done, good to go. And now look what we're dealing with. You know what I mean? It was just oversight on the record label. You know what I mean? They ended up losing all the publishing, all the royalties, and getting.
Oh, really?
Yeah, man.
Same thing?
Yeah, man.
Everything. It's one of the greatest hip hop songs of all time.
He said it's his biggest song, but it's that bittersweet. You know what I mean? It's his biggest song, but he gets nothing from it. Yeah, man. So
they play it in movies. It's in like 2 Charlie's Angels movies, man. It's hurtful.
It's
hurtful.
But so yeah, I mean, in that sense, you know, it is what it is. I'm at a point in my life where it's like, you know what, I'm putting my music out, and that's just it. And it's more, even more for legacy purposes for my children. I want them to, you know, they know we spend a lot of time in our space. I want them to hear what's Daddy doing in that. He's always in the studio. What's he doing, man? When I'm dead, I want them to be able to point and say, okay. You know what I mean?
The funny thing is they never appreciate it.
Yeah, they won't. Yeah. They won't. Yeah, until we're dead and gone. And that's the other reason why. You know what I mean?
Even right now, I'll be like, Dad, I'm not sure I like the way you do those instruments in the song. And
that old
to this day, he's a good songwriter. Don't get me wrong, but his choice of instruments don't always work for me. But people like it. People like it. He's one of those people that the music may not be where I think it should be, but you still walk away singing the song. Yeah. And again, no matter what it is.
The thing is, if you're saying your dad's got stuff out on the internet, you know what I mean, on YouTube and whatever, you know, when that day comes when our parents are no longer with us, you know, we'll be able to look back and say, yo, you know, it's a blessing to watch my parents, my grandparents, or whoever doing what they love. And that's what it's about for me. You know what I mean? I'd love to be able to go on YouTube and see my granddad doing what he loved as a younger man and say, right, that's my granddad, you know what I mean? And I hope to do that for my children, that they can say, yo, come and look at your granddad, look at him here on his MPC, chopping up beats.
Yeah. One of the dudes I used to produce, I tell you, Mark J. I met up with him like 2 years. His kids were like in their teens. And he's like, yeah, man, I'm thinking of doing some music again. It's like, Dad, you rap? It's like, yeah, I got like 6 albums, son. Yeah. And he's like, really? I don't imagine. I can't see you doing it. I don't know. So I don't think. Yeah. All
right. So you mentioned about the UK connection, and obviously you mentioned a few UK artists. You seem to know what's going on over here.
Not as much as I used to, because I don't know. I guess the music's not as easy for me to get to like it was a few years ago. I mean,
yeah. Well, what I wanted to ask was, in terms of the influence over here in the UK, the US was always our influence. You know, we was listening to whatever came out from the States. That's what we listened to, and that's what we aspired to make. Do you feel like that's still the case in terms of where the UK is now in terms of quality and the sound over here? What you hear and what you know of us, do you feel like, you know, that the US is still the forerunner, or what are your thoughts on that in terms of UK music?
Isn't that new style? I can't remember what it's called. Isn't one of the producers that's doing that new style of music? What's his name? Pop Smoke. Yeah, isn't he from UK?
No, so yeah. So drill music. Yeah, drill music. As far as I know, it started in Chicago, but it took off big time here in the UK. And currently the US is looking at the UK as the forerunners for that sound.
Right.
So like you said, Pop Smoke and those guys, like, they do Brooklyn drill. They look to the UK to say, what are those guys doing over there? Do you know what I'm saying? We're influencing the sound of the Brooklyn drill movement.
Do you do any of that style of music yourself?
No, I I ain't got it, man. My son's very much into drill music, and I listen to it and I think,
Yeah.
I suppose if I put my hand to it and really sat down and studied the genre, I could make something. But it's not really my sound, you know what I mean?
Yeah, mine's kind of
heavy bass. They got whoop, 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 whoop. The 808 kind of. That's it,
yeah. I think it's something about the hi-hat that kind of defines that style of music. Yeah,
definitely.
But yeah, a lot of my influences, what I grew up in. I mean, you know, like I mentioned, my parents are Caribbean. You know, they're from Barbados, both of them. So, you know, you got soca, you got calypso. I've done some reggaeton. I mean, it was all right. The song turned out all right. R&B. It's about what pretty much catches my ear, and I'm not one of those dudes that just be like, this is whack, I got to turn it off, unless I don't gain to anything from listening to it, or the subject matter I don't identify with it. Yeah, it's like a lot of people was loving with Mobb Deep's earlier stuff, although lyrical content, production, metaphors, punchlines, all that was in order. I was like, that's not who I am.
Yeah.
So I had problems listening to song after song after song because I'm not. I tried it a few times.
Yeah.
And one of my friends was like, that's not you. Don't rap about robbing anybody. Don't rap about killing anybody, stabbing anybody. Don't do any of that. That's not who you are.
Yeah.
And they kept me true.
Yeah.
So it's about what I identify with.
Yeah. I hear that. And you mentioned grime as well. So, I mean,
yes.
do you keep your finger on a pulse in terms of other UK genres?
I did for a while, but like I said, I just kind of, I guess because number one, the crackdown on catching people getting music online.
Yeah.
That kind of killed it. So that was I did a lot of 6 degree separation type stuff where you listen to, crap, I can't remember her name right now. She's, why is it, man, I cannot get her parents are Bajan and Nigerian. I cannot remember her name right now. But I listened to her. Yeah. Shiesty.
Okay, yeah.
Shiesty.
Yeah.
So I listened to Shiesty. She had another MC on her album. Then I go listen to his album. Then I listen to another album. And I listen to Chipmunk.
Yeah.
And I listened to Lethal Bizzle. Okay. And I just kept piecing it together as a big puzzle.
Yeah.
And now that these artists are doing so well, man, I can't remember dude's name.
Stormzy, is it?
Yeah, Stormzy's one of them, but I don't know him as well as you have to go a little bit further back. I can't remember that dude's name. Anyway, he's done a song with Labyrinth. He did a lot of songs with Labyrinth.
Yeah.
This MC.
Is he
brown skin dude?
I'm not sure. It's not Gets, is it? Is it Gets?
No.
Yeah.
I know his name when I hear it. Yeah. I follow him on Instagram, but he hasn't been posting as much.
Yeah. Check out Gets. When you get a minute, check out Gets. He's just dropped a new album. And he's one of those guys who he came from like the proper underground grime MC era, like the like you mentioned, Lethal B, Dizzy Rascal. He was around when those guys were clashing in youth clubs, and he was a murderer. You know what I mean? When it comes to lyrical warfare, he was a murderer. You know what I mean? Where now he's a lot older now. He's not a lot more mature, and the music he's making some good stuff, man. Lyrical content, metaphors, wordplay. Concepts, definitely. If you're interested in good quality UK music.
What's the dude with the Bossy song? I used to listen to a lot of his music.
It's Bossy.
Wiley. Yes.
Wiley,
yeah. Yes. I used to listen to a lot of his stuff too.
Yeah, man. Wiley had a rough year.
I even tried to reach out over there once. I was like, yeah, I'm also from the UK. I like to, produce some artists from home, and never heard anything back. So I gave up on that.
Yeah.
Because no one's going to believe I'm British unless I just...
Yeah. Well, them guys are all too big now anyway, man. They're all eating. They're doing very well. Obviously, the industry over here has matured a lot, and those guys are like...
Yeah, but this is like 20 years ago the last time I tried it.
Yeah.
Back when it wasn't as well, because, they were trying to get that, like you said, that New York sound.
Yeah.
And I used to try to make my music the New York sound as well.
Yeah.
That used to be my thing. But then after a while, I was like, I'm just gonna do what I like. and it doesn't always work for everybody, but you know, I don't always win the challenges. I won a couple times, gotta say. I did, and you know, one thing I gotta say, I won the last one for the year. What's that, 199?
Yeah.
And it never got placed with the rest of the winners of 2000 playlist.
For real?
I was hurt, but I was like, yeah.
Was it?
I was hurt, but I was like, huh?
Was the, because when I went through the all the winners to make that playlist, there was some that weren't. The SoundCloud link was either invalid or it wasn't available anymore. Like it had been taken down. Or...
Nah, it's still there.
Okay, I'll add it to the playlist, man.
I mean, no biggie.
No man,
I just felt like talking about it.
No man,
I was like, oh, well, I was like, at least happy that one of my wins was on there. Yeah. But I was like, yeah, I won 199. I chose the sample. I was like, didn't Tony say he's gonna choose the sample for 200? I'll choose a sample anyway, and I chose a sample.
Yeah,
and then I was told, that it was already chosen for you. So.
Yeah. Well, I think I've only.
What did you?
I think I've only ever won challenge in all the time I've been part of the group. I think I've won one challenge. So
no, you won one last year, right?
I think I did. Yes. So probably won two.
Yeah, I think you won one last year. Yeah, I mean, I haven't been paying attention the entire time, but you know.
Yeah. I mean, to be honest though, I really struggle with time. Some
of the sample choices or
also,
time.
Yeah. Also for me, I've got to be motivated. Like I don't want to submit just for submitting sake. Like I'm very much, I'm driven by inspiration. Even like in my I'll come in the studio sometimes and it's like I can sit here for hours and just dig for samples and just, you know, go through stuff that I found previously. And if I'm not driven by it, I'm not going to try and force it. Do you get what I'm saying? So if I hear something for the Flip It challenge and I think, yeah man, I like that, I'm entering. If I hear something and it's like, okay, I could probably make something, but I don't really want to force.
Can you tell that I push through either way sometimes? I don't know if you pay attention to any of us like that, but like sometimes the sample is like,
Yeah. I think the last one I heard and I thought this is going to be a struggle because there wasn't much to work with. So I think it was challenge 202. And the sample was kind of just the same thing all the way through. It was like, you know, there was a bit of a clean part at the beginning, and then it was just the same thing over and over again, and it faded out. And it was like, this is going to be tough, you know, for a number of guys to make something that sounds different. This is going to be tough. And when I heard the entrance, I could hear, okay, you can kind of tell.
Yeah, and that's not. Are you like myself where you don't? If you plan on entering it. Yeah, you try your best not to listen to anything until you've submitted it.
Yeah,
you don't want to be influenced by it at all, right? Yeah,
no, not at all.
My feelings get hurt sometimes because I would be like, "Why didn't I think to do it that way?"
Yeah,
that is so nice.
Yeah, I don't want to be influenced at all. And also, if I am going to enter, what I've learned now is I submit mine as close to the deadline as possible because I don't want to influence other people. Do you get what I'm saying? So I started doing that.
I could have sworn. Now, is it me or one of the challenges we had? We had two people that chose pretty much the same section of samples in the song,
and that's what I'm saying. I think that like was the last one where there wasn't really much to choose from. You can hear, you know, they do sound pretty similar.
Because I was like, the first time I heard it, I thought I wasn't paying attention because I like to listen to a lot of those beats while I'm working.
Yeah,
and I was like, wait, this. I'll just come up with a number. There's 6 songs. I thought I only heard 5.
Yeah, and
then the last 2 they kind of flipped it in a way that they sound like they were remixing themselves. But it wasn't that. It was just they chose the same segment of sample. Yeah. And I'm not downing anybody because they both sounded really good. It was just the fact that it was the same sample. I thought maybe, you know, like how somebody will make an entirely different selection within the same track.
Yeah,
and make it, you know, a lot of our people do that where you're going down one street and then they make this huge change.
Yeah,
where they pick the bridge of the song or something like that.
Yeah,
and it changes the whole feel of the song. So I thought that's what happened because it was the same choice of sample from the same song.
Yeah,
and again, no disrespect because usually this year's been really good. Last year was like, why did they do that? Yeah. Why did they choose that? What were they thinking? This doesn't match. And all of them, I bumped all of them like 6 and 7 times. Yeah. All of them.
Yeah.
They sounded really good, all of them. It was just more of a preference. And that comes down to that. Now, I got another question for you.
Go on.
When we did the 200,
Live.
when we did it live online,
Yeah.
did you like that format? And it became a bit lengthy.
Yeah.
But I think it was.
I think
if we could have done it in a way that would sped things up, it'd have been great. But
Yeah.
I felt like, I don't know. What did you think of it?
I think there was more value in that format, but obviously it's time consuming. Obviously, with the current format, it's a case of you just put a name, like, you know what I mean, Rob Russ, Dano Bravo Beats. There's no context.
One of my favorites. Shout out.
Yeah, there's no context there. Where with that format, the live format, it's like, okay, let's break it down into a criteria. We're marking on this, and this, and it, you know what I mean, everyone's kind of giving a score. Where I felt like that it gave the beats what they deserved. You know what I mean?
And do you think it hurt? Do you think it hurt the process at all of judging? Because we lost some people along the way as far as listening time, because it was like 3 hours that we were all on there.
Yeah, man.
The ones that stayed the entire time.
Yeah, it was a lengthy process. What it done, it's it kind of separated. So some people came just to vote for their people.
Yeah, immediately. My man, my man was like, we haven't played any music yet. How can you say it's the best of all time if
that's it? Yeah.
You don't know Timbaland's probably in this group and you just didn't know it. You just need to wait because you know he's gonna win. So you should just be patient.
That's it. Yeah. So I think those that valued the process stuck around to the end. You know what I mean? Those that, you know, again, yourself, Flavormatic, there's a number of people who they stuck around to see it through because they valued the process. Others came and was like, yo, come on, man, we need to move. Yo, come on. Let's this is too long.
Come on, it's almost 3 a.m. What time was it when you finished? Was it like 2 a.m., 3 a.m.?
It was late, yeah. I mean, I started it at 11. And again, that's another struggle for me is obviously I'm conscious.
Right.
Most of the audience is in the States where I'm here in the UK. So it's like, I know if I'm going to do a live stream or if I'm going to do something live, I've got to do it late to allow for that audience. But then there's other people who are in Belgium or who are in elsewhere.
Oh yeah,
they're like an hour.
Someone was saying it was later.
That's it. So it's difficult, man. When you do things online and virtually, you know, to try and cater for everyone in every time zone is challenging. So, but like I said, I think those the long-standing members who value the process and value the competition, they could have sat on there for 4 hours. You know what I mean? It is what it is. So,
but it was a little tough for me because I was watching Doctor Who at the same time because, you know, that New Year special, you know, we're not going to see another one for another, who knows how long, but, you know, I don't know if you watched that or anything, but.
I've never been a fan of Doctor Who, ever.
What?
Never.
It took it, when they rebooted it, that's when I started liking it because I felt my mother would probably be angry about me saying this, but she loved the original. She loved all the dialogue. She still, I mean, they lived in England for like 15 years before I was even born. So that she still loves Britcoms and British shows with so much dialogue. Sometimes like I was watching Bridgerton. I know that was written by an American, but still the dialogue and the presence was there. And sometimes it was hard for me to get through because I have such low patience. I don't know. My attention span is not great.
Same here, man. Yeah, I think it's the creative side of it. It's like you're sitting there watching it, you're like, I could be doing something else with this time, you know. I'm sitting here watching this. Like my wife watched a whole series in one night of something will come up on Netflix or Amazon or whatever. She'll watch the whole thing. And for me, I'm like, really? Come on, man.
It depends on what it is. I mean, some stuff I can watch all the way through, but like stuff with this heavy dialogue.
Yeah.
And it's like
the other thing as well
is a show called The Magicians, and that show so much dialogue and magic and dialogue.
For me as
well.
And
then I'll hear my wife give me a recap, and I'm like, oh, that sounds cool. And then I try to watch another episode. I'm like, nah.
For me as well, it's like I'll sit there, like I'm watching a movie or watching something, and I hear a sound bite or I hear some music, and I'm like, yo, I need to go in the studio. Like I'll hear something, I'm inspired. I'm like, yo, I gotta go, sorry. And I'm gone upstairs, you know what I mean? And just turn on the machine and start working. So yeah.
And look at the bright side. Your family's gonna put up with it for the rest of their lives because I told you, my father's in his 70s. And to this day, I come into my parents' house. I'm like, where's Dad? You know where Dad is.
Yeah, yeah.
He's in the studio. He's working on another one.
Yeah.
And he'd be like, "Hey, Robbie, come and look at this, man." and I gotta listen to the mix and help him. You know, sometimes he needs zero help, and other times I offered some advice. I mean, there's been a couple albums where I helped him put it out. I was doing, the publishing and the artwork and stuff like that for him.
That's nice, man. That's nice. My daughter's probably my eldest daughter. She's more interested than my son. Like I said, my son's into drill and grime and all that. He's not into my type of music at all. With my daughter, she's got an old spirit. When I hear my daughter's playlists on Spotify, I have those proud father moments. Like, go on, be a.
You walk by the door like, this is nice.
Yeah, man.
Nice.
Yeah, she'll play everything from like Barry Salmon down to Amy Winehouse to Stevie Wonder to right the way across every genre. She's playing stuff that I've sampled, and she's in her room playing the original, and I'm like, right, how does she know about this? You know what I mean? I'm thinking she's
you like me. Yeah, you like me where you don't know some old songs until somebody makes it a song.
Yeah, man. Yeah. And I'm like,
I'm not gonna say now, but like 20 years ago, where you hear the song and then from that point on, you hear it.
Yeah.
And then you say to yourself, now I understand how the artist can pick my sample out.
Yeah, definitely.
My little tiny horn, they can hear that it's theirs. Because I used to be like, come on, man, I slowed it down, I put it backwards. How are you gonna hear all this?
Yeah,
no.
Yeah, it's part of them. It's part of them.
Yeah.
Right, so we need to wrap up. I've got a new segment for this year called Underrated and Overrated. So I'm going to throw a few things your way, and I need your opinion. So no deliberating, no conferring. You know what I mean? I just need your response, and you can.
All right, let's do it.
You can give us some context as well. You know what I mean?
I can. Okay, because I was just gonna give an answer. No. Then regret it later.
If you can give us some context, that would be good. So first one, underrated or overrated sampling?
Underrated.
Okay. Reading music?
Underrated.
Okay.
Which I've kind of forgot how to do, but underrated.
So when you was playing the horn, could you read music those times?
Yeah. Marching band and
turning over the
chorus
sheet
band, all that.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I just haven't done it in years. So
How hard was it for you to learn that, and how hard?
Oh, it was in the chorus too.
Yeah.
How hard was it for me to?
And how hard do you think it will be for you to pick that skill back up?
Probably about the same.
Yeah.
It's both difficult. I at least know how to play by ear. I know several basic chords which allowed me to get through things. But I can still read their values, but as far as being able to play proficiently and quickly enough, that's tough for me, especially when I try it on the piano. It's tough because you're reading two clefs, you're reading more than one set of notes, versus when you're playing the trumpet, you're playing first, second, or third part. And I would say it's tough.
You know what blew my mind?
I haven't tried it in a while though.
When I found out that you can write music for a drum, that blew my mind. Like how? My the band director was a drummer. He was a drummer first. So when I saw them writing everything, it's more of, I think it's a staff thing. So I want to say, like, if it's a G note, that represents a certain style of playing, as well as its value as far as how long to play it. Great. Yeah, that blew my mind. Okay, let's keep it moving. So underrated or overrated, the MPC?
Under. I used to be like, I got keyboards for this, but now, nah. Under.
Okay. The 808 kick?
Under.
Okay.
But in some cases over, but under, if used properly. There's my context. If used properly and not overly used, and you feel it, because from Atlanta, might as well say that. When you feel it in your chest, you've done something right. So so that's why the new 808 kind of hurts my feelings, because you have to be just in the right club to feel it. You can't just be in the car, because of the sub ranges, those ranges below 100.
Yeah, yeah. Whoever created the 808 kick, I think, should own stock in Atlanta. just own stock in the state.
But you know what was crazy about that? It was used years ago.
Yeah,
like
man.
in the
Miami
70s.
Bass. You remember Miami Bass? That was
before that.
Yeah.
Before that.
Okay.
What's the name of that song? I think it's an SOS song. Dum, tell me if you care about me.
Okay. Yeah.
In the end of the song, he says, "Listen to my heartbeat," and it's an 808 that they play like twice. Yeah, 808 is
wow.
It's not new. It's very, very old. It's older than a lot of us. Probably just not us. But
okay, keeping it moving. Underrated or overrated new school rappers? I know it's a blanket term, but underrated, overrated.
Within context, I'd say. I'm trying not to be hurtful.
Yeah, I mean,
I'm saying overrated.
No one listens to the show anyway.
But please, play. What are you talking about, son? Come on, son. A lot of the people that it's the innovators, the ones that have things to say, the people that are not just taking the cadence, and the people that aren't trying to just do to get money out of it. I respect it.
Yeah.
But if you were to play like 7 of the songs back to back, the word overrated would come out my mouth.
Yeah.
But when I can sit there and listen to the little nuances in what they're saying, I was shocked. Like, for instance, Lil Baby, I was shocked by him. Yeah. He did a song about, how it is to be a young man right now and where he fits in. I was shocked by that because it had lyrical content and he had something to say within the same style of music.
Yeah.
So so there's just certain artists that I still feel. I mean, and then to be in the Baby frame, the Baby.
Yeah.
He rhymes that same kind of style, but his style is so different because he kind of skips a little ahead of the beat, which is very interesting.
Yeah. There's a few of them you can see.
I don't know, it's like subject matter.
Yeah, there's a few of them you can see. You'll be around in 15, 20 years still.
Yeah.
Music.
Yeah.
They'll make the money and then they'll just disappear. There's one guy it would be classed as like a new school rapper. Is it YBN Cardone? Is that his name? YBN Cardone.
I've only heard the Corday dude because I know there's more than one YBN person.
It might be the same.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it might be the same guy. I'm not sure of his name, but I know he's one of the YBN guys.
Because he's a part of it. Yeah, he's a part of a crew, kind of like the
He's got a bit of a lisp.
folks.
Has he got kind of a lisp?
No, I don't think he has a lisp. No. Does he have little short dreads?
Yeah.
It might be Corday.
And he's got something to say, man. Like he's making a conscious effort to say something.
Oh, then we are talking about Corday because the other YB dude, I've only heard like one song and I didn't really catch it. And I became an old man. I was like, all these weird names with syllables and vowels missing, and
so it's not him.
All these screen names for rap names. I don't get it. A dollar sign for an S. Oh, although Mace did it, but you get my point. Well, you're missing vowels and what's his name? Crap. Slack. Slack is his name.
Oh yeah.
But it's spelled with a 6
slash
6 LACK. Yeah,
I don't even try and pronounce his name, but that guy there, him.
I heard him pronounce his name in one song, and that's the reason why I understood what his name was.
Yeah.
A lot of people call me Sislack, but it's actually Slack. I was like, oh, I had no idea.
I had no idea either. Yeah, my wife calls him Six Slack. So, but anyway, all right, keeping it moving. Underrated, overrated, Bandcamp.
I downloaded the app, but I haven't used it. I haven't used it yet because I don't know, been busy. Maybe you can school me on it a bit. I don't know.
Yeah. I think what I usually say.
So I would say
for the independent artist, it's definitely underrated. It's worthwhile giving it some attention if you're looking to release music, and also for discovery. If you're looking to discover obscure underground artists, it's worthwhile spending an hour or so just scrolling through. Because obviously you could type in say boom bap or rap or whatever. It will give you some suggestions, and then it links to other artists, like other recommended artists. I've found some gold on there, man. There's some really good stuff on there, so it's worthwhile taking a look at.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we'll say underrated, although I don't can't rate it. I don't know what to rate it. So underrated.
Well, it's clearly underrated. Then, if you're not really familiar with it, then it's clearly underrated. So we need to give it some more.
Right. That's where the age comes in.
I'm a supporter of Bandcamp. Okay.
I don't use the talk. Is that what they call it? The talk?
TikTok.
Snapchat.
Yeah, I don't use none of them. I'm done with them. Right. Spotify, underrated, overrated.
Instagram, Spotify. I'm not a fan of it. It's not, I don't know. Just didn't catch on to it. I mean, I don't know. The second I saw the words subscription, I was like, that's what you got. That's what you got all the other stuff for, Tidal and all the other good guys. So
what's your goal then for getting music? What's sort of the main platform, the main digital platform for getting music?
Amazon and do a watch on YouTube, and there's another one, Google Play, and that's my main ones. Yeah.
Okay.
Because I'm a Android dude.
Yeah. Okay.
Team Android.
Underrated or overrated vinyl?
Look at this.
I can see
Look at this here.
I'm envious.
There's records behind this too. So yeah.
I'm very envious.
3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12,
wow.
13, 14, 15. Yeah. Actually, I counted it. It's like 1,500 bits of vinyl that I have. Yeah.
And is that mainly sample material, or is it a mix of like stuff you DJ with? What's in there?
It's a little bit of everything. Over the years, it started out with my father's record collection.
Yeah.
Then when I became a DJ, I got some stuff of my own.
Yeah.
And then when I work with certain artists, they'd say, I don't want these records.
Yeah.
Here you go.
Wow.
Or I have a friend, I don't have a turntable anymore. Have these 2 crates of records.
Yeah.
So it's a lot of that.
All right. I want you to do me a favor. We've never done this before on the show, but I want you to take your headphones off, go and grab 3 records randomly without looking, and then we'll have a look at them. Let's do that real quick.
All right. See my fat self on the screen and stuff.
Just slip out to the side.
Wait.
No peeking.
Okay. And the funny thing is, I know what section it's in. Wait. And I can't put my hands together because then I'll get the order out of order. See
what we got.
Who is this? I haven't listened to this one yet. Yeah, I'm not gonna. Yeah, it's somebody.
Okay, so that's sample material,
right?
Yeah.
Okay. And where did I get it from? I got it from the left because I got to put it back the same way. Mother's Finest is in this one.
Okay. Yeah.
And then I haven't listened to this one. Stalter Bros. Yeah.
That looks like good stuff on there. Like that last one, I'm sure there's some gold on there.
The Mother's Finest? Oh,
the guys with the suits on.
That's not the dude. Come on. Look at that shirt. Look at this shirt. Come on. Who wears this?
Yeah, it actually look like the BGs. Like the cheap BGs.
Okay. One more, because I know. Okay. Right.
Take your headphones off. I don't need pulling down your whole set.
Okay.
Here's
another one.
He's stunting on us. What's that?
This is Roberta Flack?
Okay.
No, it's not. Joan
Armatrading. Yeah. That's my father.
And then I got
favorite artist.
I got hip hop from when I was DJ.
Joan Armatrading. That's my father-in-law's favorite artist. That is.
This person?
Yeah, man.
I need to listen to this person.
Yo, she's dope, man. She's dope. We bought my father-in-law her greatest hit selection on double CD for 2 birthdays ago, and he was very grateful for it, man. Yeah, I'd never heard of her before until he suggested that's what he wanted for his birthday. I was like, okay, let me check her out, and she's pretty good, man.
That's
kind of like she probably influenced Tracy Chapman to do what she does. She's that kind of
okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mm.
Yeah. I mean,
All right,
it's
keep
all
it
over the
moving.
place.
You
All
mentioned
right.
you mentioned you're an Android user, so underrated, overrated Apple products.
Overrated, but I'm just being mean. I'm just being mean by saying that.
Yeah. Yeah.
The fact that the industry caters to it, I'd say, and the fact that you can continue to do more and more things with it, partially overrated.
Mhm.
It's saturation in the market,
Mm.
and the fact that some people just buy it because it is an Apple and they think that it's better than everything.
Yeah.
Overrated.
Yeah. I agree.
Yeah. Like I don't have I'm here I am being an IT person, and the second that I grab my wife's iPad or iPhone, I go, how do you close this? How do you open it? I remember when they had a button. Where's the button? I feel like I'm like an old man complaining about these doohickeys people got called phones. I remember when all you just did is make phone calls with these things.
Yeah. So my son had a laptop. Probably we got it 2 birthdays ago, and it had Windows 10 on it. And I've been a Mac user since like I said about 2012. I had no idea how to navigate this guy's computer. I was just, he was like 9 at the time, and he's like, "Daddy, I need to put this on," and I was like, "Okay." So I remember the last time I used Windows, it was Windows XP. You know what I mean? And
wow,
that was probably the best operating. To me, that was the best operating system they had. After that, I was lost, man. I was just like, so where?
I like Windows 10, but
yeah,
that's about it.
I was lost, totally lost. So he'll be getting a Mac for his for his next computer. Just so I don't feel inferior, I can help him.
Well, as long as you don't have to do any heavy, because I just started working with Mac stuff this year at my job, and learning how the software works. It's so nuts. I mean, I've had to build installs for programs at an enterprise level. So learning that, the application support folder and the libraries folder and how that all works and why the new operating system, Big Sur, is a problem. I wouldn't have known that before because I didn't pay attention to that stuff.
Yeah. That's one thing that's
frustrating. It's all because of the extra partition. Yeah. Have you upgraded to Big Sur?
I haven't, not to Big Sur, but I've so I've got Catalina on my Mac at the moment, and since I've had that, I've found the MPC software to be a bit buggy. There's certain.
I'll walk away for a couple of hours and come back, and the software's crashed.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, it's crashed more.
Yeah,
I've noticed now. Anytime I go to open a new track, a track
that contains battery.
Yeah, not battery. The bank. Every time I open anything.
Oh, that's what I meant. Yeah. So my workaround from that was to go to Plugin Boutique and get a $20 copy of the battery and copy the DLL folder into the same place. It's not a DLL. See, I'm talking about Windows. Yeah. It's the VST file. You have to copy the VST file into the same place that the other folder is.
Yeah.
And it fixes it. Because the second I load one that has the bank in there,
is the whole thing. Yeah.
That's it. And then whenever the updates come out, I have to do the process all over again.
Yeah.
Copy it back to that folder.
Yeah, I surrendered it. I uninstalled the bank, and now when I open a track that had
Can you do that?
Yeah, I just uninstalled.
It would complain.
Yeah, so it will say can't find the sound or can't find this plugin, and it will say the bank. And all I do, I just open it anyway, and then I'll reallocate those sounds to something else. I'll just find something else
to sound similar.
Okay. Yeah.
Or better.
That's it. Yeah. But that was a pain. And then also with my DJ setup. So I'm using Tractor Pro. That's the DJ setup I use. It's not compatible with Catalina. Like I can't install it. I've had to install it on my laptop. I can't install it on my computer here. But it's worked out in one sense because it can keep things separate. So my DJ stuff's on my laptop and my production stuff's over here. And then when I'm cutting in, it's not drawing any CPU power from there. It's all
I'm doing something similar too. Like this machine I'm using right now is what I use for my forgot what the Pioneer version of it is. It's a Pioneer or Jerks. They have 2 different sets of DJ consoles. One uses Serato and the other one uses, what's the name of the program? Record Box.
Okay, yeah.
And I'm using Record Box.
Okay.
And it's interesting. The whole scratching on little mini discs. It is what it is.
Yeah.
Like by the time you hear me scratching on one of those songs, it's because I've chopped something from the end of the song. That was good. And I move it here.
Yeah.
And then delete all the other stuff that's here and then move this. Yeah. So
I'm the same. If I'm doing a scratching, I'll just make the track run for the whole, if it's 4 minutes.
Right.
I'm just just doing a whole variation.
So on track 1, you got your one sample that you're scratching, right? And you do the whole song with that. Then the next one, do the whole thing, and then you just pick what you like.
Pick the best ones and just piece it up. Yeah.
Good to know I'm not the only one.
What to do, man. It's like multiple takes.
And your skills are nice. I've heard you, man. The intro for this show, are you doing the scratching for that?
Yeah.
I made it.
Yeah. Although I will share my secret. I never had no turntables when I done that. It was all done on the MPC. So I sampled. I knew what I wanted.
Scratch.
Yeah.
Oh, that's nice.
So and it was because of that I actually bought the turntables. I thought, you know what, I want to get back into this, so I bought the turntable.
So when you DJ'd in the past, was it your equipment back then, or was you using someone else's? Because that was my
whole
story.
setup. Yeah, man. Back in the day, I had a whole setup in my mom's garage. So I had the 2 Technics turntables. I mean, I started off in the bedroom just with a little bass, very cheap setup, and then as I got a bit older and got more serious, I got the 2 Technics, the mixer, and I was more of a mixtape type DJ. I wasn't really into turntablism.
Yeah.
But then when turntable,
I was somewhere between.
Yeah, well, so once it got popular, I was like, okay, I need to start doing the beat juggling and all that, and we started doing DM competitions and things like that. But I was definitely more of a mixtape DJ. That was the 2 copies, and I'd play on the radio and that. So that was my thing.
No, I love backspinning. That's my favorite.
Yeah, man, that was the thing.
That's my favorite. Definitely. Yeah.
Right, we're almost there. Underrated.
Keep going. Sorry, I know you're gonna have to edit this or something.
No, man, we're good, man. I like these ones. They're organic. I love them. Cool G rap.
Underrated.
Thank you, my brother. Thank you.
Man, come on, man. One of my friends, his style sounded so much like him for a minute, but he's progressed since then.
Yeah.
But he was one of the first heavy wordplay gangster style. He would say whatever. That Rated X.
Yeah, Rated X.
Come on, man. Nobody was talking like him at the time with the skill set behind it.
Yeah.
Because it's one thing to say your sexual exploits and you just say it flat. Yeah. But the way he put that together.
Yeah. It's almost like he took what the 2 Live crew was doing and done it in a lyrical masterpiece.
He said something like hold the bed post so your head's gonna go right through it or something. I was like, come on, man. That is so visual, and you can see everything he's saying, and rather than just saying the 2 Live crew. I respected their place as time went on, but at the time I was like, so simple. The style is so simple.
Yeah. So last night, I decided to listen to Wanted Dead or Alive again, and I remembered, Money in the Bank and Bad to the Bone.
Money in the Bank.
Yeah, those 2 tunes, Bad to the Bone. I just thought this guy is on a different level, man. Cool G rap. So yeah, anyway.
I loved him in Symphony. You gotta say Symphony.
Yeah, Symphony. Yeah, definitely smashed it. Smashed it. Yeah.
All
right. Underrated, overrated, Analog Gear.
Underrated, but the skill set has to be there as far as knowing how to mic up your drums and knowing how to properly mic up amps and stuff for your guitars, and knowing how to and it's all about miking, really, and miking and mixing. If you know what you're doing, which I'm all right with it. Yeah. You can appreciate it. And it's just like sampling itself, there's a sound that's very hard to reproduce without that same type of equipment. Because a lot of people say, why don't you just replay everything? Getting that exact sound, that resonance is tough to do it analog.
Almost impossible.
Yeah.
Like you'd have to recreate the whole environment. You'd have to recreate the whole environment, and
you
know what I mean?
Like that movie Black Dynamite.
Yeah.
The producer went and got all the original equipment that was used at the time to
Mm.
produce that same sound.
Wow.
And then that Prime first album, the
Okay.
same producer went and used that same kind of equipment to make everything, and then Primo sampled it, and then Russ the 5'9" rapped over it.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's just something about that sound that you cannot reproduce unless you know what you're doing.
Mm.
And I'm sure maybe in a few years you can take someone's advice who used to use that equipment and probably replicate it. And who knows? I don't know the recording process for everybody. So there may have been people that do it to this day that are that proficient using plugins.
Yeah. Yeah. I saw a video on YouTube. Ali Shahid Muhammad from Tribe Called Quest. Him and another guy have got a studio, and they've bought all retro equipment, like down to the cables, the wires, the mixing desks, the reel-to-reels, the tapes, the keyboards. They brought everything retro with the same kind of thing in mind. You know, they want to create an environment where they can capture that original old analog sound. You know, those guys are really trying to keep that alive, man. So there's definitely a movement for that. And I could only imagine how much they would charge for a session. You know, if they've gone to the
I got to keep the lights on, so
that's it.
$700 an hour.
And someone would pay it, you know what I mean? Someone would pay just for that, just to have that sound, you know. All right. So lastly, we're going to switch it up a little bit here, just to make it relevant. Underrated, overrated, Atlanta.
Underrated because we don't have a particular one sound, and it's constantly evolving as the music genre advances in time. Okay. We were once thought as Miami bass influenced, simple rap style, tell a quick story, and now we're intricate. Got musicians, crazy musicians coming out of here. A lot of people are underrated because they just don't have the same hype and the same press and the same marketing as a lot, you know, some of these people. I mean, we've helped birth extra genres besides trap. I mean, it's underrated in my opinion.
Yeah,
because most of the people from here will tell you, "Oh, I'm not from Atlanta. I'm originally from," and
they've
you know. And then you'll be like me, where you tell somebody you're from someplace else, and they won't believe you because you've been here since you were like 6
forever. Yeah. It's definitely a place I'd like to visit. You know, I hear a lot of exciting things about Atlanta in terms of the entrepreneurial boom, the opportunities out there.
Right.
Yeah, and I've got a few colleagues from my online entrepreneurial different groups I was in back in the day, who moved from smaller towns, you know, maybe St. Louis or other places, and they've gone to Atlanta and they're doing great things. You know what I mean? They've set up like marketing businesses, and you know they've basically set up businesses to help other entrepreneurs, and they're doing massive things. You know, writing books.
And the cost of living here is a lot more feasible.
Yeah.
Like there, even if you were to watch any of the American shows like the Property Brothers, a lot of the filming of that show, from what I was told, was in Canada.
Okay.
So they would say, "Yeah, my house is. I have a budget of $600,000," and you're looking at the house, and you're like, "That house can't be worth any more than 254 all the way, well, 300." And you look at it and be like, that might be 300,000. What are you talking about? And then I find out it's Canada, because the cost of living is different.
Yeah.
And the same thing for Atlanta based on where it is. So that's the reason I'm in the outskirts, because cost of living is entirely different from living, say, directly in Atlanta or downtown.
Yeah. Yeah, man.
The only downside is transit is tough here. Like, you know, public transportation is, for some areas, are non-existent. You have to have a car to get around, or a rideshare service.
Yeah.
But either way, it's tough.
Yeah. All right.
That's the downside. So
it's been good, man. It's been good.
Yeah.
Is there anything you want to promote? Any direction you want to point the listeners to go and check out your music, any projects, anything like that? What you got going on at the moment?
I had a person I was working with in the past asked.
Yeah.
They said that I want to try to do some more music coming up, and I'm going to be helping them come out with stuff. But they said it's going to be more organic, so I'm
Okay.
just going to keep throwing music at them.
Yeah.
You can find me on Instagram, Russ DA producer. You know, the producer, because I was like, producer's a long word. Let me just do DA instead of TH. And that's where a lot of my stuff is. And of course, SoundCloud is on there as well. I need to be like you. I need to be a big boy and try out some of the other mediums, see how that goes.
Yeah.
I don't know if you mind me reaching out to you for advice. I feel like I might need some because you ready, stepped in. You came back in the industry a lot sooner than I did. I mean, some of these albums on the walls from like 10 years ago, or I think the newest one up there is like from 2013, I think, something like that. It's been a minute.
Yeah.
And then I haven't even put everything up. I've been in so much stuff. But that was the late 90s and early 2000s. Like now I'm just trying to find a way to get back in.
Yeah.
I really enjoy making music, and I enjoy being among other people that push you even harder. And that's what the Pad Bank community is all about.
Well, like I said, man, we appreciate you, your participation and your engagement in the group and your contribution to the group. We definitely value it, man, and appreciate it. So thank you, my brother. It's been good. We'll put all the links in the description. Anything you want to share, we'll add that in the description. And we'll continue to build and grow. And if you want to connect and explore different things, we're happy to have that conversation, man. It's all about supporting one another. Okay. So.
I wouldn't even mind teaming up. I would not mind at all.
I'm down, man. Let's do it.
Yeah.
Let's do it. So yes, my brother, thank you very much. I'll speak to you again.
All right, man.
I'll see you in the pad bank, man. So all the best and take care.
All right.
I made it. I made it. I made it. I produced. I made it. I made it. I produced. I cooked up.